the more first-party data that you have, and the more permissioned that data is by its eventual owners, the users, for you to use, the more value you will find in addressability and other forms of targeted TV. Because like all of these things, what you put in is a pretty significant determinant of what you get out. And that goes for things that are one-to-one, and you specifically want to change the behavior as an individual, but much more importantly for most of the advertisers that a business like GroupM would deal with, it's about creating really high quality seed data so you can build targeting and profiles around whole cohorts of consumers and have a much wider effect than you do in the world of one-to-one marketing. And so the question then becomes, is how do you go about producing or gaining first-party permission data from your customers and prospects? And my sense is that advertisers will focus on the data that really matters to them and is a leading indicator of consumer intent, and at the same time try and find data that does that but is minimally invasive to the privacy of their end users. And so there'll be a sweet spot in data that represents value to the enterprise and minimum harm to the consumer that will be the one that is most desirable for advertisers. I think if we then put that in and we believe in the fidelity of the data, a strong signal that actually means something, our ability to apply that and then see the results flow through the business don't need to be attributed on a one-to-one basis or on a spot-by-spot basis. They can still be attributed at a cohort level, they can still be attributed at a campaign level and so forth. And I sometimes worry that the pursuit of one-to-one marketing, so obvious and easy to hold in contrast to mass marketing, is actually an inappropriate destination for many advertisers, and they would be better off thinking about creating cohorts that were of value with data that's of high value to them and minimally invasive to the customer.
Cohorts meaning?
Well, you need a significant addressable audience to launch a business against. You need a less significant but still large audience to launch a brand against, a smaller audience still to launch a line extension against, and a smaller audience than that to run an ad against part of that audience. So the population can be described as cohorts of people that are in market for whatever it is that you happen to do. So if, for example, you sell shampoo and it costs $4.99 a bottle and you can buy it in CVS or Walgreens or wherever it might happen to be, and it's suitable for every type of hair, the amount of data that you need other than where is it sold and who has $4.99 discretionary to spend on shampoo is actually quite limited. If on the other hand you have a shampoo that you can demonstrate the satisfaction of an audience works particularly well for people with curly hair, you need better fidelity data to do that. If, taking it one step further, you have a shampoo that works very well for people with curly hair who have a propensity to lose that hair, which then becomes a medical and health-related issue, the data becomes simultaneously more valuable and more sensitive. And those are very different sizes of cohorts of audiences that you would choose to address with very different kinds of data requirements that you would need, and think about how you would go about activating them.
So Rob, we're getting ready for CES next year. It's coming up pretty soon. In terms of innovation, things you're looking for, particularly that are relevant to marketers, to your clients of GroupM and to the media and advertising industry, what do you hope to see, and what do you hope is innovation that might be coming to the floor and to the suites?
So it's been very easy to follow a pathway of thinner, faster, brighter, bendier, more foldable, etc. over years and years and years and years. More recently, we've seen these things become networked. More recently, we've started to see assistants embedding in all of these devices. And I think last year at CES was the first year of the real age of assistance in moving along with all the Alexas and Hey Googles and so forth in those, and Bixby in the Samsung world, moving into that. I think what we're going to be looking for this year is intelligence that sits on top of information, which is great. We have lots of information. I think we're going to look for imagination in the way that people have set about solving problems, and maybe even being smarter and more aware of what's going on. So aware computing, if you like. And I think we're seeing a lot of that with Amazon's progress with Alexa now. And I think we'll also be looking, as we are in so many places in business, at inclusivity or inclusion, and thinking about the ways that technology helps all of the population rather than increases a digital divide, which is obviously a significant issue in many parts of the world, and indeed many parts of the country. And looking at CES in terms of the development of technology for all, and technology that anticipate needs as well as fulfills needs, and technology that thinks about what its impact on the environment, for example, is. So one of the things we'll be looking at is, are people producing screens that are using less energy than they did before? Are people solving new problems with connectivity in a way they didn't do before? Are people doing things at a price and an availability that is going to enable the progress of wider populations? So I have a feeling that the world generally, and I hesitate to use the word at my age, is rather more woke than it has been in previous years. And I think people are right to expect that there are holistic implications of the use and the progress of technology above and beyond smarter, faster services and products for what are effectively a luxury goods audience of the richest billion people on the planet.